Dear Anon who wanted advice for people getting married in their 20s. Don't be sorry. I love giving advice, especially solicited advice, because nobody appreciates unsolicited advice. Nobody. Be careful with living together before you get married, or to be more accurate, be careful with living together before you are committed to be in this relationship for the long haul. If you move in together with the idea that you're in it for the long haul, or if you move in together after you get engaged, then that does not negatively affect your divorce rate. You're not more likely to get divorced because you moved in together before you got married. However, if you move in together to kind of try it out and think about it, if you subsequently get married, it is more likely that you are going to get divorced. Possibly because once you've moved in together and you're paying rent together and your finances are starting to intertwine, it's much more difficult to extricate yourself from that, but I don't know. Next point, for the love of sweet baby chicks, don't rush. I know, some of your friends on Facebook who just graduated from high school are getting married and having babies and you're feeling the pressure even though you're like 19, 20, 21 years old. Take a chill pill. Age at marriage negatively affects your divorce rate up until about the age of 23. If you get married at 18, you are more likely than not to end up divorced. Like 60-some%. You don't have to wait for eons, but it is a good idea to finish your education first, particularly because a college degree means that when you do get married, you're much less likely to get divorced, especially if you're a lady. Okay, so you want to get married, you've found the person you want to be old and grey with, you don't feel like you're rushing, you've decided to make a commitment. Now is the time to lay everything on the table. Before my minister would marry my fiance and I, we had to do a marriage course, but even if your place of worship where you're getting married doesn't offer that, or even if you're getting married in a courthouse and they don't require that, you should really think about it. The UK has the marriage course based on The Marriage Book by Nikki and Sila Lee. But if you can't do a course, or the course they're offering is like weird and cultish or something, get the book or get a book like it and talk about the difficult things. Sex, kids, parenting, religion, money. The time to find out that your spouse missed some credit card payments in college and thus has a low credit score is not when you are applying for a joint mortgage together. The time to find out is now. You need to know exactly how much money the two of you have. You need to know how much you have in your bank account. You need to know how much you have in savings. You need to know about your debts and their interest rates. You need to know everything and you need to know it now. This isn't about recriminations. This isn't about going, how could you possibly buy a car when you're $30,000 in credit card debt? This is about making a plan. If you want to be a team, that includes financially, and so you need to have a plan. And if you can't be honest about your finances now, what's it going to be like when you actually get married? On that note, don't borrow money for your wedding. Just please don't borrow money for your wedding. Nothing sours the magical experience of your wedding day like still having to pay for it 1, 2, 5, 10 years down the line. First, because finances are one of the biggest causes of marital disagreement and stress and strife. And second, because big spending on wedding day and engagement ring is positively correlated with divorce. So make of that what you will. Alright, so maybe you're already married and you're in your early 20s and none of this advice has yet applied. No problem. Be kind, be attentive, be honest, be resilient, and expect change. The reason that people say you shouldn't get married when you're young is because they think you are going to change so much over the course of the next 5, 10 years, and that is very true. You are going to change. But if you are prepared for that, if you are willing to be mindful of it, if you go in knowing that you are both going to change as people and try and make sure that you change and grow together as opposed to apart, it's not such a big deal. Actually, it's kind of exciting that you get to face great change in your life with the person that you love most in the world. But to do that and to grow together, you have to work at your relationship. Working at your relationship sounds really terrible, like when people present exercise as something that you must do and it's going to be terribly unpleasant, but you just have to grit your teeth and be done with it. It's just being kind. It's just treating the most important person in your life like they are the most important person in your life. It's really listening when they talk. It's putting your phone down every now and again. It's looking them in the eye when they are speaking. It's doing nice things for them, just, because. And that financial honesty I mentioned when you're getting engaged shouldn't stop just because you got married. But on the note of finances, it is a really good idea to have separate emergency funds. Like something which is only in your name, which has however much money in it, which only you can access. Something which is only in your spouse's name, which has whatever amount of money in it, which only they can access. Because you don't want a situation where your accounts are frozen and you cannot access any of your money. For example, in the UK, if your spouse, like, I don't know, gets hit by a bus and they're in intensive care, all of their accounts, all of the accounts which they have access to will be frozen. You know, because they don't want people stealing the money of people in intensive care, which kind of makes sense. However, if you don't have power of attorney, which you should have, by the way, but I'll come back to that in a second. If you don't have power of attorney, you have no access to your joint accounts and you still have bills to pay. That is not a situation that you want to find yourself in. On that note, you should have a will and power of attorney. Like, if your spouse gets hit by a bus and is in intensive care, you should be able to access your account. You should have financial power of attorney. You may also want to get like health and medical related power of attorney, but that I think is a separate thing. At least it is in the UK. And you should also have a will. When I die, I want this to go here, this to go here. It doesn't have to be difficult, it just has to exist. It is far better to have them and not to need them for another 70 years than to need them and not have them. Wow, that was kind of a serious ending. Okay, be kind, be honest, and remember that you're a team. That's my best advice. Hope it helps.